Barren Millionaire believed he would remain childless. However, his maid unexpectedly presented him with 2 offspring. Prior to engaging with this narrative, please indicate your location in the comments section. Appreciate the narrative. Benjamin Carter has all that several individuals could merely aspire to: an opulent estate, extravagant automobiles, and an apparently limitless financial reserve. Yet, within the expanse of his residence, the silence was more pronounced than the external breeze. At 38, Benjamin was a prosperous entrepreneur, yet the luster of his achievements could not dispel the ominous secret he bore. He was unable to procreate. This was the significant load he carried daily. During family gatherings, the disparaging glances and harsh remarks regarding his inability to establish a family really distressed him. The society in which he resided appeared fixated on evaluating a man's value based on the extent of his ancestry. Benjamin perceived that he would never fulfill those expectations. One morning, the incessant clamor of his thoughts compelled him to drive through the vacant suburban streets. His objective was unequivocal: to elude, even for a few period, the confines that imprisoned him. Outside a previously unnoticed tiny cafe, Benjamin felt an irresistible urge to halt. He required a respite from the existence that was stifling him. The ambience indoors was unpretentious and inviting, a stark contrast to the opulence to which he was accustomed. A woman with weary eyes yet a cordial grin transported trays back and forth behind the desk. Her name badge identified her as Emma Walker, a modest waitress and single mother endeavoring to sustain herself. As she neared his table, Benjamin, exhibiting his customary commanding presence, attempted to assert control. However, Emma, in contrast to anybody he had encountered previously, was not daunted. With mild assertiveness, she rectified him when he misarticulated his order. Her words inadvertently undermined the facade of superiority he had constructed over the years. A profound resonance was elicited in Benjamin from that brief contact. Emma's comments and her unadorned stare appeared to serve as a mirror, revealing the flaws and vulnerabilities he endeavored to conceal. However, there was an additional element as well: a forthrightness and candor he did not encounter among those in his vicinity. Upon returning to his vehicle, Benjamin experienced the burden of his alone once more, although this time it was intertwined with a novel sentiment: curiosity. Emma had confronted him unexpectedly, and for some reason, he was compelled to learn more about her. A concept started to develop in his thoughts. What if she were the catalyst for unlocking new opportunities in his life? Resolute, he devised a strategy. He would employ her to assist in his mansion, asserting a need for organization and maintenance support. However, his genuine objective was to understand the woman who, in a brief period, prompted him to reevaluate his own beliefs and potentially alleviate the void that engulfed him. The day following their initial encounter, Emma was in the cafe, tidying the final table of the day, when she observed Benjamin entering once more. He appeared altered from the initial encounter, less hurried, and possibly more reflective. As he neared the counter, Emma's curiosity intensified. "May we converse briefly?" Benjamin inquired, his tone measured yet benevolent. "Certainly," Emma responded with reluctance, drying her hands on her apron prior to taking a seat opposite him. Benjamin hesitated, seemingly deliberating his choice of words. "I would like to extend a job opportunity to you. I understand this may seem unusual, but I would like you to contemplate the possibility of working at my residence. I require an individual possessing your commitment and expertise." Emma paused, taken aback by his candid proposal. "Engage in remote work from your residence? I am uncertain. I have minimal acquaintance with you. What actions should I undertake?" He acknowledged that it was an atypical request, leaning in slightly. "However, I am convinced that might be advantageous for both parties. The compensation would undoubtedly exceed your current earnings here. I require assistance for my housekeeper in managing the mansion." She contemplated his remarks, balancing her pressing desire to secure an improved life for her child against her reluctance to accept such an unconventional proposal. Ultimately, Emma acquiesced with a quiet nod, albeit a tense flutter in her abdomen revealed her apprehension. I accept the offer. However, I trust you understand that I lack experience in managing a mansion. I will exert my utmost effort. Benjamin appeared relieved, presenting a little smile. I have faith in you, Emma. I appreciate your trust in me. Upon finalizing the arrangement, they both rose, with Emma experiencing a blend of relief and trepidation. The following day, Emma anxiously twisted her hands as she boarded the bus en route to Benjamin Carter's grand mansion. The unforeseen employment offer appeared as a salvation. She was unfamiliar with the man who had employed her, yet the remuneration he assured could significantly impact her life and that of her 5-year-old son, Lucas. Upon her arrival, Emma felt diminutive in the presence of the colossal edifice. Inhaling deeply, she recalled Lucas, envisioning the illumination of his face when she recounted bedtime stories. This position was suited for him, which provided her with fortitude. Upon entering the estate, she was welcomed by Clara Hastings, the long-standing housekeeper. Clara scrutinized Emma with an attitude that combined skepticism and condescension. Clara remarked, "Oh, you must be the new assistant," her tone exacerbating Emma's sense of alienation. "Indeed, I am Emma," she responded with a tentative smile. "I am available to assist wherever necessary." Clara maintained her austere demeanor. "Indeed, young lady, we adhere to stringent regulations here. I trust you will not interfere with the functioning of this household." Emma's eyes glimmered with resolute intent. "I will exert my utmost effort." From his office above, Benjamin observed the conversation through a partially open window. He was intrigued by Emma, particularly following their fleeting interaction in the cafe. Observing her now, resolute yet composed in response to Clara's inflexibility, further intensified his admiration for her. Despite opting to monitor her, Benjamin retained his aloof demeanor. He wished to conceal his vulnerabilities from her. Aware that his heart harbored anxieties, he liked to keep hidden beneath his frigid facade. In Emma, he perceived as someone robust outside yet potentially delicate internally, an unexpected reflection of himself. In the subsequent days, Emma demonstrated her commitment. She labored diligently, scrubbing every nook of the mansion, even under Clara's scrutinizing gaze, which consistently seized opportunities to highlight imperfections. Perceiving the unspoken bond developing between Emma and Benjamin, Clara commenced disseminating derogatory remarks about Emma, both among the personnel and directly to Benjamin. Notwithstanding the obstacles, Emma discovered minor gratifications during her journey. One afternoon, while tending to the garden, she observed Benjamin observing her from afar. He acknowledged her with a modest nod, a gesture both subtle and sufficiently warm to elevate her fatigued spirits. During those tranquil periods of contemplation, Benjamin started to envision an unforeseen future. The notion of marrying Emma emerged in his mind subtly. Although he could not entirely comprehend the reason, there was an aspect of her that evoked a feeling of guardianship and rejuvenation within him. He found himself contemplating the experience of sharing his life with somebody who comprehended adversity and perseverance. Nevertheless, he recognized that these were nebulous fancies, lacking complete development. Additionally, Clara needed to be taken into account. A woman he was acquainted with cherished affections for him, and her manipulative influence may exacerbate his already convoluted ideas. Nevertheless, his mind persisted in envisioning an unusual yet totally plausible future, one in which Emma could accompany him as his spouse. Conversely, Emma was starting to comprehend that her responsibilities here extended beyond mere physicality. Clara's continual, ominous presence rendered everything more difficult. Her instincts compelled her to remain vigilant and maintain her defenses. The night outside was gloomy, however Benjamin Carter's home illuminated brightly, producing a disconcerting contrast. Inside, the ambience was suffocating and burdensome. Following an arduous workday, Emma seated herself at the servants' kitchen table, her stomach entwined with tightness. Clara's frigid glances trailed her like shadows, intensifying her discomfort. Benjamin entered abruptly. He seated himself next her, his eyes unwavering and his attitude inscrutable. The silence caused Emma's heart to rush. "How was your day?" Emma? Benjamin ultimately disrupted the silence, attempting to appear nonchalant. His tone was ordinary, yet it conveyed an underlying nuance of something deeper. It was as challenging as ever. Emma responded, attempting to maintain her composure. The residence is expansive, and numerous tasks await completion. The remainder of the meal transpired with tension, the clatter of cutlery against plates resonating more prominently than usual. Upon completion, Benjamin terminated the remaining personnel, including a visibly dissatisfied Clara. Emma found herself alone with her employer, acutely aware of the unarticulated expectations permeating the atmosphere. Emma, Benjamin commenced, his anxiety evident. I have a significant matter to address with you. He hesitated, seemingly grappling with his own words. Affirmative, she responded, her heart racing. Benjamin inhaled deeply. What I am about to articulate may appear surprising, yet I urge you to contemplate it well prior to reaching any conclusions. Emma scowled, her thoughts beginning to populate with disquieting prospects. What is the subject of this discussion? He inclined his body forward, his eyes unwavering. I wish to propose a marriage of convenience. The words lingered in the atmosphere with a palpable heaviness, causing Emma's heart to plummet. A pragmatic union? Accompanying you? Indeed, he provided confirmation promptly. It would quell my family's reproach. They have been exerting pressure on me to establish a conventional family and demonstrate my ability to lead a normative life. He remarked that you would be the quintessential maternal figure for my son, oblivious to the profound effect those words would elicit. Stunned, Emma rose suddenly. What accounts for your emotional detachment? Are you considering marriage solely as a means to resolve your issues? I am not an item for your family's appeasement. This is utterly inhumane. Benjamin maintained his posture, albeit a brief expression of pain appeared on his face. I recognize that may appear callous. Nevertheless, consider your son. It seems evident that we might both gain from this arrangement. I can provide you with security and a stable residence. Do you believe that is sufficient? Material possessions cannot satisfy the emptiness, Emma declared, her voice resonating throughout the room. I decline to participate in this. I refuse to be an ornament on your shelf. The ensuing silence seems interminable. Benjamin momentarily closed his eyes, contemplating the fervor of her response. He saw that his approach, despite its seeming rationality, was fundamentally incorrect. The tension in the room gradually dissipated. Emma inhaled deeply, attempting to restore her calm. Even if I were to contemplate it, what would the conditions entail? Would you use me as a facade while I am confined in this home, deprived of my own voice? Benjamin ultimately eased his shoulders, exhibiting increased vulnerability. I do not wish to exert authority over you, Emma. I am uncertain how to manage the strain from my family. However, you possess strength and resilience. Even if it deviates from tradition, we may honor one another's boundaries. Emma gazed at him, perceiving something beyond the initial coldness she had observed. Should I accept this proposition, it will be under my conditions. I will not permit you to demean me or regard me as your possession. Upon your acceptance, I assure you that I will adhere to your stipulations, and you shall attain your freedom. We can establish a partnership, potentially evolving into a friendship. Benjamin disclosed, now exposing a vulnerability she had previously overlooked. Emma exhibited reluctance. The internal conflict was apparent. Benjamin's words resonated throughout her heart. She required stability for Lucas, an opportunity to provide him an improved existence. The proposal possessed advantages, although the risks were equally difficult to overlook. I am contemplating. The door suddenly opened, disclosing Clara, who had eavesdropped on the entire conversation. Her attitude was victorious, and she smiled with malevolence. This is quite delightful. However, I am confident that we can accomplish significantly more for Emma. Emma squinted at Clara, perceiving that her presence was anything but innocuous. Clara seized the opportunity to speak, prepared to use the situation. Do you genuinely believe that a marriage of this nature will succeed? What if Emma possesses ulterior motives? Would it not be perilous to allow someone of her disposition to approach you, Benjamin? Benjamin faced Clara, clearly agitated. This does not concern you, Clara. I am exercising my autonomy in decision-making. Clara emitted a derisive laugh. Indeed, decisions. However, only you can perceive the repercussions. Emma may not be as reliable as she appears. Who can ascertain her true desires regarding this arrangement? Emma, simultaneously astonished and defensive, confronted Clara with resolve. Kindly refrain from involving me in your schemes. Benjamin and I are two grown-ups engaged in a dialogue. I can undoubtedly manage my own interests. Clara folded her arms, her smile devious. We shall see, sweetheart, yet I question whether you fully comprehend the implications of your decision. The tension was tangible as Clara exited the room, creating a dense atmosphere. Emma gazed at Benjamin, attempting to comprehend the recent events. I apologize. I did not anticipate Clara's intervention in that manner, Benjamin remarked, shattering the silence. She is unyielding, is she not? It is evident that she manipulates all circumstances and individuals, Emma said, her determination beginning to strengthen. However, I possess sufficient self-awareness. I refuse to be a pawn for her or anybody else. Should I consent to this marriage, it will be under my conditions. Benjamin acquiesced with a deliberate nod. I acknowledge that, and you should be aware that I am not one to allow others to exert power over me as well. I seek to alleviate my family's criticism, contingent upon your cooperation. Emma deliberated meticulously over her alternatives. The suggestion was unconventional and the circumstances complex, yet the urge to forge a brighter future for Lucas was undeniable. She felt a surge of warmth at the prospect of utilizing this chance to transform their lives. Indeed, Benjamin, I shall accept your suggestion. However, I must clarify one point. You cannot regard me as a servant or demean me. I require respect and the autonomy to express my true self, regardless of our marital status. Emma stated, her tone unwavering and earnest. Benjamin's countenance relaxed, revealing a blend of relief and admiration. I concur with your terms. We will devise a solution that accommodates both parties. Consequently, with a profound inhalation, Emma resolved to make a decision that would irrevocably alter both of their lives. The future was ambiguous, although one fact was evident. She refused to permit Clara or anyone else to dictate the trajectory of her narrative. As the night advanced, a novel dynamic began to emerge. Emma saw that obstacles awaited her, particularly with Clara intent on creating snares and inciting discord. With her steadfast determination and commitment to ensuring a brighter future for Lucas, Emma was prepared to confront any challenges that arose. The wedding day commenced, including a modest ceremony set against the opulence of Benjamin's estate. The couple was encircled by a mere few guests, and the ambience was a blend of trepidation and expectation. Emma donned a simple white dress she had discovered at a thrift shop. It embodied her minimalist aesthetic, yet her eyes radiated optimism. Benjamin, however, seemed composed. However, his eyes revealed his genuine feelings. His composed demeanor concealed emotions he was not yet prepared to divulge. The exchange of vows was succinct and subdued, with each utterance deepening the uncertainty in Emma's heart. I, Benjamin, accept you, Emma, as my spouse. His words resonated, although Emma sensed that the promise remained suspended just in the space between them. Following the ceremony, as the guests departed, Emma gazed into Benjamin's eyes. We can successfully accomplish this, correct? Indeed, he responded, although the uncertainty in his tone was evident. In the subsequent days, Emma and Benjamin commenced the construction of their new life together. At times, Benjamin's subtle actions profoundly affected Emma. He appeared sincerely considerate when he presented a book of children's stories for Lucas or inquired about her weekend preferences. Shall we spend Saturday at the park with Lucas? One day, Benjamin proposed, presenting Emma with a gentle grin. The glimmer in his eyes caused her heart to race. I believe it would be enjoyable. Emma experienced a warmth surge in her chest and smiled, touched by his benevolence. That appears to be delightful. Lucas would greatly appreciate it. She responded with enthusiasm. On the day of the excursion, the sun radiated brilliantly, and the park was animated with laughter and vivid hues. Benjamin observed Lucas engaging with a playground structure, his expression radiating unadulterated joy. Simultaneously, Emma directed her gaze towards Benjamin, noting the serenity on his countenance. She observed a serene countenance unfamiliar to her, evoking a profound sense of connection to him. Emma stated, her smile radiating compassion, that Lucas has a strong fondness for you. Benjamin gazed at her, a trace of weakness evident in his eyes. I have always aspired to be a father, and Lucas is an exceptional youngster, he stated earnestly. That is the reason you desired this marriage, correct? Because it included a child and all the elements for an ideal family? Emma jested, playfully winking at him to alleviate the atmosphere. He grinned, however his demeanor became increasingly solemn. The matter extended beyond Lucas, pertained to his mother. Benjamin said, You captivate me, Emma, and I require a woman of your fortitude alongside me. Surprising her with his declaration, she experienced a degree of agitation from his revelation, her heart accelerating. The man before her exceeded the aloof millionaire she had envisioned. He exhibited vulnerability, sensitivity, and, most importantly, humanity. His articulation of emotions revealed to her a greater profundity in Benjamin than she had previously perceived. Nevertheless, even these instances appeared to possess an imperceptible barrier that Benjamin was unable to penetrate. He exhibited kindness. Nonetheless, his smiles were frequently succeeded by silence. Internally, Emma had a profound conflict. She desired to approach him to comprehend his sorrow. However, something perpetually restrained her. She had a perpetual conflict between the aspiration for a more promising future and the apprehension of failing to attain her genuine desires. Simultaneously, Clara was resolute in her intention to obliterate any prospect of happiness. She commenced disseminating tales among the house workers, suggesting that Emma was a gold digger, solely interested in Benjamin's fortune. Have you observed her behavior? Perpetually smiling, as though she is relishing a life of luxury, Clara said, laughing with a group of employees, unaware that prosperity might vanish overnight. Clara's remarks proliferated rapidly, influencing others' perceptions of Emma. Certain staff members began evading her presence, directing critical glances in her direction. Emma perceived the change in ambience, sensing that she was being excluded. One morning, while Emma was occupied in the kitchen preparing breakfast, Clara arrived and gazed intently at her. Clara continued with her sardonic tone, stating that Benjamin has consistently harbored a fondness for damsels in distress. However, the reality is that appearances may be misleading. He lacks trust in you. Emma experienced intense anger. Benjamin is my spouse, Clara. I am not a damsel in distress. I am a mother endeavoring to provide the best for my son. Clara laughed, evidently pleased. However, do not overlook the possibility that his perception of you may change soon. A genuine man seeks a partner capable of providing him with a legacy, and you do not fulfill that role. Let us engage in a brief game with individuals who exclusively peruse the remarks. Please enter pizza in the comments section. Only individuals who reach this point will comprehend. Let us proceed with the narrative. Clara's words were incisive, penetrating Emma's thoughts and inflicting harm. She endeavored to be resilient, although a tempest of anxieties commenced to infiltrate her thoughts. Is it possible that Benjamin lacked trust in her? Numerous questions reverberated in her head, and uncertainty began to establish itself in her heart. In a moment of despondency, Emma withdrew to the mansion's garden. While she observed the surrounding flowers, her son Lucas joyfully approached her, reintroducing a semblance of brightness into her existence. Nonetheless, her eyes, which sought solace and safeguarding in Benjamin, appeared far. Hello, mother, Lucas telephoned, presenting a drawing he created at school. Behold, I have created this for you. The image depicted a vibrant portrait of a smiling son, momentarily eliciting a genuine grin from Emma. Nevertheless, Clara's comments continued to resonate in her thoughts. "It is exquisite, Lucas. I greatly appreciate it." She embraced her son, deriving solace. However, the recollection of Clara's comments persisted in tormenting her. Subsequently, upon Benjamin's entrance into the room, Emma hesitated to express her concerns. She desired to confide, yet afraid he might perceive her as the impostor Clara had suggested. The stillness between them became oppressive, prompting Emma to choose to disregard her apprehensions. "Greetings, Benjamin," she remarked, endeavoring to maintain a cheerful tone. "Today, Lucas created a drawing for me." Benjamin gazed at young Lucas, his expression illuminating at viewing the artwork. "Impressive, Lucas. I adore this cheerful son. You are a skilled artist." He bent down to kiss his son's forehead. The glance Benjamin directed at Emma at that time conveyed authenticity, instilling in her a sense of optimism. However, as dinner commenced, Clara re-emerged, akin to an unwelcome intruder, obstinately refusing to depart. "Oh, Benjamin," she continued, her tone both dulcet and incisive. "Do you not perceive more than merely a sketch? Your wife may prioritize your income over her interest in you, utilizing tiny Lucas to manipulate your emotions." The atmosphere at the table shifted abruptly. Benjamin, poised to express a heartfelt comment regarding dinner, became immobilized, his eyes descending to the table. Emma experienced a profound sense of despair. He appeared to be influenced, and dread engulfed her. "Clara," Benjamin stated, his tone icy and resolute, "refrain from making your insinuations. Emma, my spouse, merits respect akin to that afforded to other individuals within this household." Emma gazed into Benjamin's eyes, seeking affirmation of his genuine support. She wished to trust that he was safeguarding her. However, Clara's remarks continued to resonate in her thoughts. Subsequently, upon their return to the bedroom, Emma was unable to restrain her sobs. She approached the window, contemplating the stars illuminating the sky, pondering why they had constructed walls rather than bridges. Benjamin emerged in the doorway, his countenance marked by apprehension. "Emma, what is occurring? You appear aloof and I am perplexed by the reason." She pivoted, tears cascading down her visage. "Clara is correct. Emma exhibited reluctance. "I feel as though my presence is solely for your possessions, and that causes me pain. I do not wish to be perceived as a gold digger or as someone exploiting you." Surrounded by her fragility, Benjamin approached. "Emma, you hold significantly greater importance to me than that. Disregard any statements made by Clara. I am attempting to comprehend you. This existence we are constructing collaboratively. However, I concede that I am finding it difficult to express myself." He paused, raising his hands to his face. Emma recognized the internal conflict mirrored in his gaze. "I require your presence, yet I fear exposing my vulnerability. In reality, I am not as resilient as I appear." Benjamin's candor profoundly affected Emma, leading her to recognize the striking similarity of their barriers. "We require one another, Benjamin. We can together produce something exquisite, but it necessitates trust. I am unable to accomplish this independently." Benjamin gazed at her momentarily, and Emma perceived a flash in his eyes, a tacit commitment that they would both endeavor. "Henceforth, I shall be as candid with you as possible." Benjamin proposed that they collaborate on this task. The chamber became silent, and the walls that appeared impervious began to fracture. Emma believed that their connection might develop despite Clara's tactics. However, she saw the necessity of remaining cautious. Clara was not inclined to concede readily. Despite the emergence of new obstacles, Emma felt sufficiently empowered to confront them. Benjamin possessed depth beyond his frigid facade, and this understanding marked the initial stride toward a future she aspired to construct collaboratively, one day at a time. Life at Benjamin's mansion begun to adopt a novel cadence. The friendship between him and Emma was gradually developing, notwithstanding the challenges and Clara's persistent disparaging comments. Emma endeavored to disregard the contempt, However, the strained ambience within the house was becoming intolerable. One morning, while Emma poured coffee in the kitchen, she overheard a dialogue between two staff members. "Have you heard? It was reported that Benjamin's new wife is expecting a child." "It is unequivocally not his," another responded, accompanied by incredulous laughter. Emma's heart accelerated. Who would disseminate such malicious falsehoods about her? It was inevitably Clara. Resolute in addressing the matter, Emma sought out Benjamin in the living room, where he was perusing some documents. "Benjamin, we must converse," she stated, endeavoring to suppress the dread in her tone. "Regarding what subject?" he inquired, gazing upward, his eyes brimming with exhaustion. The tension between them resembled a strained cord poised to break. "I am receiving reports. Clara asserts that I am expecting a child with another man." Emma asserted that this was untrue, her tone imbued with fury. "I would never engage in such an action." Benjamin halted, his countenance transitioning from astonishment to perplexity. "Is that everything you wish to express? I cannot fathom why you are allowing that woman's falsehoods to govern this discussion." "Benjamin, I am not jesting. This is merely another malicious falsehood she is employing to separate us," Emma implored, her voice escalating with urgency. "What do you anticipate I should do regarding this matter? The residence is abuzz with rumors concerning you, and I am uncertain whom to trust. I cannot just disregard the opinions of others." Benjamin conceded, his voice tinged with frustration. In recent days, the speculations regarding Emma had preoccupied his mind. Whom should he trust? His mind was obscured by uncertainty and confusion, hindering his perception of the truth. "Do you genuinely believe I am capable of such an action? I am not the individual Clara is attempting to portray me as." Emma was on the verge of tears. The situation became increasingly intolerable with each passing moment. "We can surmount this collectively. I am endeavoring to cultivate my concern for you, and I aspire for us to establish our lives on a robust basis. But I require your steadfast support." Benjamin ran his hand through his hair, his emotions evident in his eyes. "Very well, Emma. I shall grant you an opportunity. However, my heart is laden with insecurities. I have experienced prolonged alone and, thus, I wish to avoid more emotional pain. If you are prepared to listen, I can reveal the truth," Emma stated, fervently wishing he might perceive the seriousness in her gaze. The tension intensified, and finally Benjamin starting speaking. "I am sterile, Emma. I am unable to conceive children." His confession struck like a blow, and the anguish on his face was evident. "If you are pregnant, it cannot be my child." Emma halted, his words reverberating in her thoughts. The revelation surprised her, but her astonishment quickly transformed into ire. "Benjamin, I would never manipulate your emotions. You must trust me. Clara is deceiving. I am your spouse, and I vowed to support you." Benjamin's gaze became frigid. His face became inscrutable, reflecting an attitude of skepticism. "How can I ascertain that you do not possess other emotions? My history has instilled in me a sense of caution." At that time, Emma's fragility was evident. Her heart was evidently injured. "I aim to cultivate a family with you, not to undermine our existing bond. Your sentiments on your past are not my concern." Before Benjamin could respond, an extended quiet ensued between them. The intense tension was tangible, and ultimately, Emma perceived an absence of escape. The man she adored appeared to be distancing himself. The most profound aspects of their connection appeared to be disintegrating. Preoccupied with her thoughts, Emma experienced an increasing pressure in her chest. "Benjamin, I cannot remain here in this manner. I require space to breathe. I must safeguard my son and myself," she stated, her voice quivering. "Are you going to abandon me? Following all that has transpired? What actions will you undertake? You cannot simply depart." Benjamin exclaimed, however his words ceased to resonate with her emotions. "Indeed, I am departing, and I will be taking Lucas with me," she affirmed, tears cascading down her cheeks. "I assure you that I will never return. I cannot remain in an environment where I am not trusted. I cannot remain in an environment where, above all, there is a lack of faith in me. Benjamin's eyes exhibited anguish and bewilderment, although Emma had ceased to place her faith in him. She observed how Clara's manipulation had obliterated all her aspirations. Crucially, she could not persist in an environment where affection was frequently supplanted by suspicion. Emma, Benjamin commenced, desperation marked on his visage. However, the words eluded expression. He acknowledged the validity of her statements. Nonetheless, his doubts and uncertainties overwhelmed him, rendering it impossible to express himself. I cannot accomplish this independently, Benjamin. I am unable to combat the distrust stemming from Clara's stories, while you accuse me and refuse to have faith in me. Emma replied, attempting to suppress her emotions, although frustration engulfed her. She seized Lucas's diminutive rucksack, which she had previously filled with clothing and necessities, as he played in the garden. I will get our belongings, and we shall depart. I desire a location where we may begin anew. Do you genuinely believe you can depart without attempting to rectify this situation? Benjamin inquired, his voice subdued and tremulous. A trace of apprehension was evident in his approach as he attempted to grasp her arm. However, Emma recoiled. I made an effort, Benjamin. I demonstrated my dedication and affection. Yet you only perceive Clara lurking in the background. I may represent a chapter in your life, but I cannot be a liability. Her words pierced him like daggers. Silently, Emma grasped Lucas's hand, and they proceeded toward the door. A blend of resolve and sorrow enveloped them as Benjamin remained motionless, immobilized in mute astonishment. Should you exit that door, Emma? I cannot ascertain if another opportunity will arise. I am uncertain whether you will encounter someone who loves you like I do. Benjamin commenced, yet Emma pivoted, confronting him one final time. Affection transcends mere verbal expression. It pertains to trust and assistance. You are not providing it to me. Clara may perceive this as a game. Nevertheless, my life is not a game, and Lucas merits superior treatment, she asserted. With that, Emma departed the mansion, burdened with immense responsibility, yet resolute in her pursuit of a brighter future. Upon passing past the gate, she glanced back, observing Benjamin still standing there, engulfed by his feelings. His expression conveyed both uncertainty and helplessness. Farewell, Benjamin, she said to herself, her heart shattering as she departed from all that may have been. Liberty awaited. However, the anguish of departing from Benjamin and the estate would accompany her at every turn. Emma resolved never to return, determined to prevent manipulation and distrust from causing her grief again. Primarily, she vowed to secure a promising future for Lucas, distant from the remnants of her past. With tears in her eyes, she advanced into the future, prepared to redefine her narrative, regardless of what tomorrow may entail. Simultaneously, Benjamin occupied his office, encircled by stacks of documents, among a silence that appeared to unsettle him. Emma's leaving had rendered him perplexed and remorseful. He incessantly replayed her words in his thoughts, and with each minute that elapsed, his misgivings intensified. Clara had humiliated him, exacerbating vulnerabilities he was unaware he possessed. How could I have placed my trust in her? Benjamin muttered to himself, striking his hand against the table. The whispers and doubts appeared remote now, as recollections of pleasant occasions with Emma emerged. The smiles exchanged with Lucas and the little signs of affection. That was love, not the perverse game Clara had orchestrated. Benjamin's thoughts commenced to accelerate. He recalled Clara's disparaging remarks about Emma, the insinuations she would interject throughout their discussions, as if sowing seeds of doubt. Clara had consistently exhibited manipulative behavior, but now he must address it with her. He rose and proceeded down the corridor to Clara's office. Benjamin discovered her sifting through documents, an expression of contempt evident on her face as he entered. We must converse, Clara, he stated assertively. She gazed upward apathetically, appearing completely unconcerned. Regarding what subject? If you are considering mentioning Emma again, I regret to inform you that she is unworthy of your trust. That is precisely what I wish to address. It is imperative that you be truthful with me, Benjamin asserted, advancing closer. Your actions constitute a profound betrayal. Clara arched an eyebrow, a sardonic smirk curling on her lips. Treacherous conduct? She is the betrayer, not I. Benjamin, you need to have exercised greater caution. Negative. He shook his head with determination. I now recognize that you were the individual disseminating falsehoods about her. You initiated those rumors, did you not? You attempted to persuade me that Emma was not valuable. Clara's smile diminished, and a glimmer of apprehension appeared in her eyes. It is implausible that you genuinely think I would engage in such behavior. I have consistently safeguarded you as I always have. Safeguard me? Or dominate me? Clara, you have consistently desired to remain in my life. I attempted to create distance, yet your deceit and machinations exacerbated the divide. You feigned allegiance. However, you were the one guiding me into a chasm of doubt. Benjamin became upset. Explain the rationale. What is it about Emma that poses such a significant threat to you? Clara exhaled audibly, her irritation becoming evident. I was never sufficient for you, Benjamin. I consistently observed your yearning for what she possessed. A genuine life and a family. I merely desired what rightfully belonged to me. Benjamin experienced a shiver coursing through him. Your desires do not validate your deceit. Your influence compelled me to distance myself from her. And now, due to your actions, my family is disintegrating. Family? You have allowed her to deceive you. Do you genuinely believe that a woman of her caliber could possibly harbor affection for you? Benjamin, you are a man of worth, and she merely sought a life of luxury. Clara exclaimed, her voice escalating with fury. Enough, Benjamin declared, his ire morphing into resolute determination. Emma has departed, and I now recognize that you are the one who tainted our relationship with your deceit. I can no longer place my trust in you. Regard yourself as discarded. Clara's countenance transformed immediately to one of rage and incredulity. This is unacceptable behavior towards me. I have consistently supported you, and if Emma does not return, it is because to your actions that obliterated that opportunity. Depart. I never wish to hear your name again, Benjamin declared, experiencing a sense of relief as the words escaped his lips. As Clara exited the room in defeat, Benjamin inhaled deeply and resolved to take action. He needed to locate Emma. He was uncertain of the method, yet he felt compelled to rectify the situation. Haunted by memories of the past, he found his newfound clarity to be more potent. He understood the necessity of demonstrating to Emma the authenticity of his affection for her. Upon departing the mansion and entering his vehicle, something piqued his interest. A folded sheet of paper was placed beneath the windshield wiper. He seized it and unfurled it, his demeanor altering as he perused the text. It was a note composed by Lucas for Emma, although one aspect seemed very notable. Mother, I love you and am exceedingly pleased with our new family and Father Ben. Benjamin's heart momentarily ceased to function. The words resonated in his head, supplanting panic with newfound comprehension. Did Lucas regard him as his father? What was the significance of this? The revelation of his infertility and the understanding that parenthood did not necessitate a biological link transformed his perceptions of Emma and their relationship. He had a tumult of emotions: regret, perplexity, and predominantly, an imperative desire to locate Emma. If the note was authentic, it altered their entire relationship. The sole method to reestablish contact with her and reveal the truth was to pursue her without delay. The sun illuminated the sky, although Benjamin's heart was burdened. He needed to locate Emma and convey the extent of his transformation, although he was uncertain of her whereabouts. Benjamin seized his phone and promptly contacted several friends and acquaintances, anticipating that one of them would have information regarding Emma's whereabouts. As the sun set, he finally obtained a lead. A small village located just a few hours distant. Following several hours of exploration, Benjamin discovered himself in an unassuming area, replete with quaint businesses and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee permeating the atmosphere. While passing a clothes store, he noticed a recognizable figure behind the counter. Emma was organizing several t-shirts. His heart accelerated. "Emma," he said, illumination brightening his countenance. She gazed upward, and Benjamin discerned a blend of astonishment and skepticism in her eyes. "What brings you here, Benjamin?" Her voice was incisive, yet he recognized the sorrow concealed inside her words. "I sought you out. We must converse," he stated, anxiously readjusting himself. "Concerning our organization, concerning the events that transpired." I apologize." Emma folded her arms, evidently unwilling. "Do you believe you can simply appear unexpectedly and that all will be well? You have caused me pain, Benjamin. I am uncertain if I can simply forgive you. I acknowledge that I caused you pain, but I have gained insight from my errors. Clara was exerting influence over everything, and I let her comments to impact me. I relinquished you without contesting," Benjamin articulated, sincerity evident in each syllable. "What am I expected to do with that?" Emma retorted, maintaining eye contact with him. "Do you genuinely believe that an apology suffices to persuade me?" He inhaled deeply, his resolve intensifying. "Merely an apology is insufficient. I aspire to construct a new life alongside you, accompanied by our offspring. I acknowledge my errors, yet I am committed to transformation." She paused, her demeanor becoming gentler. "Our offspring?" Emma inquired, her eyes reflecting curiosity, yet uncertainty persisted. "What is the implication of that statement?" "I discovered Lucas' note." He commenced speaking, but Emma interrupted him. She interrupted, gazing intently into his eyes, stating that there was something he needed to know. "I am expecting a child, accompanied by twins. I underwent an experimental operation to pursue the opportunity of establishing the family we have always envisioned." Emma's comments struck Benjamin with the force of a lightning bolt. Expecting twins? A procedural experiment? He was stunned, her words reverberating in his thoughts. "Why did you not inform me earlier? I was uncertain of its efficacy, and I was already deeply wounded by you. I want your presence, however I was uncertain of its feasibility, particularly in light of recent events." Emma responded, her stare unwavering, but her eyes started to shimmer with tears. Benjamin experienced a blend of affection and reverence for Emma upon recognizing her contributions to their well-being. "Did you accomplish this for us? That is astonishing," he mumbled, his voice laden with emotion. "You took a risk to provide us an opportunity. I undertook this action because I was confident we could confront any challenges together. I aimed to provide them with the opportunity for paternal presence and a stable residence. However, with recent events, I am uncertain of your genuine desire for this," Emma stated, her voice delicate yet determined, piercing Benjamin's heart. "Emma, I desire to be with you. I wish to care for you and our children," he asserted, urgency escalating in his tone. "My actions were reprehensible. I ought to have had faith in you from the beginning." Emma gazed at him, tears cascading down her cheeks. "What if you depart once more? What is the future of our family? I assure you that I will not. I will advocate for us, Emma. I aspire to be a commendable husband and an engaged father. Grant me another opportunity to demonstrate my capability to fulfill all your requirements," he asserted, resolutely. Benjamin knelt before her, his entreaty earnest. "I request re-entry into your life. I aspire to construct a future with you and our offspring." She observed him, her eyes reflecting a blend of anguish and optimism. "Benjamin, I wish to trust you, yet the scars remain profound. I comprehend your position, and I do not anticipate immediate forgiveness. Nonetheless, I am prepared to undertake whatever necessary actions to restore your trust." Benjamin expressed his desire for self-improvement, aiming to become the individual that both Emma and their children merit, his comments resonating deeply with her emotions. Emma wavered, conflicted between the anguish of her history and the burgeoning hope in her heart. "Are you aware of the number of problems we will encounter? This pregnancy will be challenging," and I cannot endure it alone once more," she whispered, her vulnerability evident. "I will not permit you to confront any challenges in solitude. We shall accomplish this collaboratively. This pertains to our current situation, namely to our family." Benjamin stated, his voice unwavering, that he desired to be at your side not merely as a father, but as your partner in all endeavors. Emma's demeanor softened as his words penetrated her heart. He observed her struggle, meticulously evaluating each phrase and promise he presented. However, the apprehension on her visage indicated that a lengthy journey remained. "What if you reconsider your decision once more? What if Clara intervenes once more?" She indicated that everything remains quite unknown, revealing her insecurities. "This time, I will combat any obstacle that seeks to intervene in our relationship. I have encountered Clara previously, and I will not hesitate to do so again." Benjamin told her that regardless of the circumstances, he would not abandon her. He observed that Emma appeared somewhat more receptive, perhaps commencing the process of emotional recovery. "One cannot guarantee that everything will be flawless. Life does not operate in that manner," she stated, although a hint of optimism began to infiltrate her tone. "I do not guarantee perfection, but I assure you I will strive to be the guy you and the twins merit." He asserted his want to construct something authentic and enduring with you. Emma experienced a tumultuous blend of emotions, including doubt and worry, yet also a flicker of rekindled hope. She gazed at Benjamin, exposed and kneeling, and recognized that the decision would be challenging. However, the affection he held for her and the children was beginning to penetrate the defenses she had established for self-preservation. "Benjamin," she commenced with trepidation, yet he interjected, "kindly refrain from speaking at this moment. Simply grant me an opportunity," he implored, with sincerity evident in his eyes, "to discuss, strategize, and determine how we could collaborate effectively." Emma inclined her head to scrutinize his gaze, seeking sincerity. In them, she perceived not merely regret, but an authentic readiness to transform, a sincere aspiration to forge something significant. She stated that if she agrees, they will encounter numerous hurdles, and she desires no hollow assurances, since she sensed the balance beginning to shift favorably. "I cannot guarantee ease, but I assure my effort. If I must contend for this daily, I shall. You are the woman I adore, and I am now certain that your love is what I have long awaited throughout my life," Benjamin proclaimed, the sentiment evident in his tone. Emma inhaled deeply, sensing the gentle winds of a fresh start. "Let us proceed together, but we must maintain honesty with one another moving forward." "Agreed," Benjamin responded, a smile emerging on his lips as the burden lifted from his chest. He rose gradually and embraced Emma in an extended, sincere kiss. At that time, the prospect of a new beginning began to flourish between them. They recognized that the trials were merely commencing, yet collectively, they could confront any adversity. As the weeks passed, Emma and Benjamin gradually began to restore their friendship. Trust, previously fractured, was being meticulously rebuilt via candid dialogues and instances of vulnerability. Seated on the sofa in the recently refurbished mansion, a location they had collaboratively made into a home, Emma observed Benjamin engaging with Lucas. The guy's laughter resonated across the room, uplifting their spirits. Emma remarked with a smile that it is remarkable to witness Lucas's happiness. He has been exceedingly enthusiastic in acquiring a brother. Benjamin reciprocated the smile, his eyes lighting. His infectious enthusiasm is remarkable, and I am eager for him to serve as a role model for the twins upon their arrival. The eagerness in his voice indicated his preparedness for this new chapter. Emma expressed optimism, stating that she believes they will excel as parents. "We must continue to uphold mutual respect. Correct? Indeed, communication will be paramount." He assured her of his unwavering support, gazing intently into her eyes. "To fulfill the role of the father our children merit." Over time, Emma grew increasingly confident in her relationship with Benjamin. They were genuinely constructing a new existence together. When the day of the twins' birth arrived, Emotions surged for everybody involved. Following hours of labor, Emma delivered 2 lovely, healthy sons. Upon cradling the infants in his arms for the first time, Benjamin was inundated with an overwhelming surge of affection. He gazed at Emma, who appeared fatigued yet radiant. "We have accomplished it, my darling," he declared, his voice imbued with emotion. "They are exquisite," Emma remarked, tears of joy welling in her eyes. "Indeed, they are impeccable and they belong to us. What shall we designate as their name?" Benjamin inquired, appreciating the little faces of the boys who could scarcely open their eyes. Emma proposed naming one of their children after her father, contemplating Eduardo and Marcos. "What is your opinion? Marcos and Eduardo are exquisite names. I want you to understand that I will consistently strive to maintain our family's unity, ensuring that Clara never re-enters our lives." Benjamin responded, his expression grave. Emma acknowledged that Clara's presence might present a potential threat in the future. "We must be resolute. I do not wish for her to intrude upon our relationship. Let me be unequivocal. My foremost focus is our family at this moment," Benjamin asserted, the conviction in his voice strengthening the trust they were cultivating. As time elapsed, Benjamin tended to the children and grew to realize the profound affection he harbored for them. Each smile, each tear, every minute he shared with the lads filled his heart to the brim. One morning, as he fed the twins, Emma approached and observed him with a smile. She remarked, with a trace of admiration, that she never anticipated you would excel with them. "I did not either, but this affection is distinct, Emma. It is more profound than I ever envisioned, prompting me to recognize what is genuinely significant." Benjamin responded, directing his gaze towards the youngsters and then towards Emma. Simultaneously, Clara began to occupy his thoughts, and on an exceptionally sunny day, Benjamin resolved to confront her. He sought to convey to Clara that she no longer had a place in his life. Upon his arrival at Clara's residence, she welcomed him with a contrived smile. "Benjamin, it is a pleasure to meet you," she remarked, attempting to convey friendliness. "Clara, we must converse. My life has transformed, and I will not permit you to intrude upon it," Benjamin asserted resolutely. "Emma, Lucas, and the twins are my foremost priority, and that will remain constant." Clara elevated her eyebrows, astonished. The frigidness in her demeanor had dissipated. "You are exhibiting impulsive behavior. I have consistently supported you. What leads you to believe that the life you are experiencing is authentic?" "I recognize the significance of what Emma and I have established. Excluding you and your falsehoods," he responded with conviction. "Henceforth, I wish to refrain from hearing your name or participating in your plans." With those comments, Benjamin departed, experiencing a sense of relief. He would not permit Clara to meddle in his life again. He was prepared to accept the life he had selected. Later that afternoon, upon returning home, Benjamin discovered Emma on the couch, cradling Lucas as the twins slumbered tranquilly in their cribs. He advanced, a serene joy permeating the space. "What was the outcome?" Emma inquired, regarding him with curiosity. Benjamin expressed relief after addressing unresolved matters with Clara. "I explicitly stated that there is no longer any room for her in our lives." Emma grinned, appreciating Benjamin's bravery. "Your actions were commendable. We must not let the past to hinder our current endeavors." He sat beside her with a sense of pride, viewing their offspring. "Observe them, Emma. They embody all my aspirations. I now fully get the essence of fatherhood. Affection is unqualified and pristine." Emma saw the lads, slumbering serenely. "It is a love we shall cultivate collectively. We are prepared for this. Really," she stated, resting her hand on Benjamin's. As the hours elapsed and night descended, Benjamin embraced his 2 sons affectionately, a sense of fulfillment enveloping his heart. Emma stood beside him, and he recognized that this moment was the commencement of a new chapter. Benjamin regarded Emma, his expression laden with emotion. "May I embrace them in this manner, solely in my arms? I believe this moment is essential for me." "Certainly, love," Emma remarked gently, her tone imbued with tenderness. She approached him, valuing the image of the man she loved now as a parent. That evening, as Benjamin observed his children and sensed the profound love enveloping him, he contemplated the future they were collectively constructing. Amidst the resonance of Lucas's laughter, the vulnerability of the twins, and Emma's affectionate presence, a sense of completeness was ultimately attained. "Hello, Emma," Benjamin remarked, his tone subdued yet imbued with emotion. "Do you recall our past aspirations? Every new day commences now, allowing us to share the entirety of it collectively." "Affirmative, and we shall proceed. We will construct it incrementally," she responded, the gleam in her eyes mirroring the resolve he experienced. In the tranquility of the night, the residence they had established vibrated with vitality. Benjamin saw the impending trials. However united by love and trust, they were prepared to endure any adversity that arose. The residence, now imbued with affection and optimism, assured a luminous future, and for the first time, Benjamin experienced genuine fulfillment. Let us engage in a brief game for those who exclusively peruse the comments. Please enter milkshake in the comments. Only individuals who reach this point will comprehend it. Let us proceed with the narrative. Over the months, living in Benjamin and Emma's residence evolved into something exquisite and unforeseen. The mansion, once characterized by uncertainties and bleak memories, now echoed with children's laughter and vibrant talks. The aroma of freshly baked cookies frequently permeated the atmosphere, while the previously painstakingly arranged garden now flourished with vivid hues, reflecting the happiness within the residence. Benjamin, who had endured extensive criticism and derision from family and friends throughout his life, was suddenly perceived in a new manner. What were formerly assemblies of critical gazes have now transformed into occasions of appreciative looks. Observers in his vicinity began to perceive the transformation. A man who was not only prosperous but also benevolent, compassionate, and authentically content. On a lovely afternoon, Benjamin opted to have a modest gathering at the mansion. He desired for them to witness personally the residence he and Emma had constructed collaboratively. As they prepared for the celebration, Emma observed Benjamin, noting the glimmer in his eyes while he grilled burgers. "You appear quite elated, Benjamin," Emma remarked with a beaming smile. "I never anticipated witnessing your transformation in the presence of others." He momentarily halted, appreciating the woman beside him. "Your demonstration of love has revealed that it is the essence that imparts meaning to life," Benjamin said, his voice imbued with honesty, that the bravery to confront our issues collectively led him to this moment. As the guests, including members of Benjamin's family, commenced their arrival, he had a modicum of apprehension. However, as he surveyed his surroundings and observed Lucas joyfully traversing the garden and the twins crawling on the grass, he recognized that everything was coherent. "Benjamin, what an exquisite party you have orchestrated," remarked Patrick, an old acquaintance who had previously questioned his decisions, as he approached him. "It appears you have ultimately resolved the matter. Family is the most invaluable entity." Benjamin grinned while clasping Patrick's hand. He acknowledged his substantial debt to Emma, casting a kind glance at his wife in the distance. "In her absence, I would not have discovered this trajectory," Patrick acquiesced. "Her remarkable qualities, along with the partnership you both have cultivated, exemplify the profound possibilities of love. It is now apparent to all of us." On that day, Benjamin's parents, previously known for their criticism, approached him with authentic grins. His mother expressed her pride, her eyes glistening with tears. "What you and Emma have accomplished here is genuinely inspirational." Upon hearing this, Emma joined them, gracefully relinquishing old grievances. She expressed gratitude, sensing that she was finally integrating into the family. "We desired this residence to embody the affection we have always wished to convey." As the sun commenced its down, the mansion resonated with exuberance. Melodious music permeated the atmosphere while youngsters engaged in play and adults maintained their animated discussions. Emma and Benjamin converted a frigid, uninviting area into a cozy and hospitable residence. As the gathering began to conclude, Benjamin and Emma distanced themselves from the crowd in search of a tranquil moment. They discovered a location beneath a substantial tree in the garden, with Lucas slumbering nearby and the twins cradled in their arms. Benjamin surveyed his surroundings, absorbing every detail. "This is the residence I have always envisioned, Emma," he confessed, emotionally charged. "All of this is attributable to you." Emma smiled while softly caressing his hand. "We constructed this together, Benjamin, and further expanding our family will only enhance our strength." He enveloped her in an embrace, inundated with appreciation. "I never anticipated that such an occurrence could transpire. I feel fulfilled. The fortitude required to confront any obstacle resides within each of us," he said, his eyes shut in satisfaction. Their gazes converged, and the affection they possessed was more profound and resilient than any challenge they had encountered. In their mutual gaze, they envisioned a future replete with promises, memories to forge, and narratives to recount. As darkness descended upon the mansion, now emblematic of love and rejuvenation, Benjamin, Emma, and their children were enveloped in the warmth of a genuine family. All their apprehensions, misgivings, and uncertainties dissipated as they embraced the transformative essence of love and oneness. As they observed the stars commence their twinkling in the nocturnal sky, Benjamin had an overwhelming surge of emotion in his breast. Cradling the twins in his arms, he gazed at Emma, his eyes reflecting profound gratitude. "I recall when this house seemed so vacant." He remarked gently that he could no longer envision a location brimming with vitality and affection. Emma acquiesced, grasping his hand and observing their offspring. "We have created something exquisite," she responded, gazing at the children who had further fortified the foundation of their residence. "With each passing day, I am confident that we will confront any challenges that arise together." Benjamin smiled, contemplating the possibilities that tomorrow may present. "With your presence, I am prepared for any challenge. This is the commencement of our new chapter, and I eagerly anticipate each moment." While the breeze conveyed the laughing of their visitors, who continued to exchange stories and smiles, Emma and Benjamin sat together, observing their children embark on the initial steps of a new chapter. Under that tree, they silently vowed to be one another's sanctuary, a realm of affection, comprehension, and optimism. The party was successful, and as the final guest departed, content and moved by the evening's warmth, the couple sat on the porch, holding their slumbering children. "Do you recall when we believed all was hopeless?" Emma inquired gently, her eyes focused on the horizon, where the city lights begun to shimmer like stars. "Indeed, and to consider that I nearly let that to become our reality," Benjamin responded, his tone contemplative. "What is significant is that we have reunited, and now, with our family, we are genuinely complete." They remained silent for a period, savoring one another's presence and the tranquility enveloping them. Ultimately, Benjamin resumed speaking, his tone imbued with assurances. "I vow to love and support you, Emma, and our children, at every juncture." Emma reclined her head on his shoulder, experiencing a sense of safety and affection, and I assured the same to Benjamin, perpetually. As night fell, they lingered, enveloped in a profound and meaningful relationship. Under the same celestial canopy that had observed their adversities and victories, they were prepared to confront any forthcoming obstacles, assured of their mutual support. With a significant gaze, they re-entered their renovated home, sensing that each wall and room now narrated the tale of the love and resolve they had cultivated together. Thus, with the assurance of everlasting love, Benjamin and Emma poised themselves to embrace a new beginning, assured, unified, and prepared to transform each day into an amazing chapter of their shared existence. What is your opinion on the narrative of Benjamin and Emma? Convey your perspective in the comments section below. Evaluate this narrative on a scale from 0 to 10. What rating would you assign? Subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay updated on all our narratives. Be sure to explore further heartwarming narratives by clicking here on the concluding screen.